Hello and welcome to Course Like Your Car Brochure channel, and in today's episode for your Saturday special, the special edition Ford P100. Welcome back, and of course, like if you're new to the channel, we are, like we say, a car brochure channel looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in car brochures, car facts, or even just looking back at car memories, cars we all remember, please do consider subscribing. Anyway, back to today's episode. This was first aired on a Saturday. We call those episodes Saturday special episodes because we look at a special and limited edition vehicle every Saturday. Today is no exception. The Ford P100. This is a special edition Californian. Let's have a look at that now. So here is today's brochure. P100 Ford badge and the special edition P100 Californian. Pretty straightforward. Let's zoom in on the main image. So we all remember these P100s in the UK, don't we? Sierra front end and a practical bed on the back for moving stuff around. Quite often used for sort of landscape companies, etc. But they kind of like made this special edition Californian more as like a leisure vehicle, I guess. These unusual bull bars at the front and these lights at the top. Really nice actually, and the graphics on the side kind of like make me think more of the 70s rather than the 80s. So the date of this brochure, May 1991, and there's the code as well, FA1002. We're even fortunate enough to have a little bit of a dealer's stamp on this one. So Bristol Street Motors, so the truck sales division of Ford there, Millbrook, Southampton there. So anyone know if that's still there? Jot that in the comments, always interesting to know. But let's go back to the front cover. So the brochure's now for Ford in 91 and their special edition's a little bit plain, not the most exciting. This would be lovely to see, wouldn't it, in the late 70s, them sort of tiny brochures about that big you could flip up. That would be far more exciting, but we've moved on. And we must move on, of course, although I don't like moving on, hence why I do these old car programs, and hence we're always looking at old vehicles. But nevertheless, let's open the brochure up. Let's see what this special edition Californian had to offer. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this one-handed actually, so let's open the brochure up just to show you how it opens to make a really large brochure with a wonderful picture. We'll come back to this wonderful picture. We'll start over here, bit of an introduction and some of the specifications. So the text starts by saying Californian, and though undeniably strong on visual appeal, the special edition P100 Californian is not just a pretty face. The interior has a distinct sports personality, enhancing the renowned driving qualities that help make this range of pickups the top seller in their class. Plus, as a working vehicle, it retains all the practical qualities, adding worthwhile extra features such as the big work lights and the protective tonneau cover, which now sports a Ford oval. It's the ideal runabout for those who like a little extra style in their work or leisure driving. This particular one would almost be ashamed to use it as a work vehicle though. A little bit of a look at the interior though. Pretty basic actually, these P100s. I mean, the Sierras weren't exactly throwing the luxury on their base models, but we can see here things like no rev counter. We've just got a clock on there, a simple Ford radio for the time, but an interesting steering wheel, I must admit. It tells us the P100 Californian is fitted as standard with the Ford Quality Model 2015 stereo radio cassette. It tells you some of the standard features for this model: choice of a powerful 2-litre petrol or a 1.8 turbo diesel engines, cab protector frame with 2 large work lights, double skinned load box with rubber mat, unique side and rear decal scheme, tinted glass, front light guard and nudge bar, manual remote control door mirrors, tonneau cover styled to suit cab protector frame with Ford emblem, analog clock, cigar lighter, sports seats with Azolder cloth inserts, steering wheel adjustable for rake and reach, storage bins in driver and passenger doors, tilting removable screened glass sunroof, a trip recorder, unique work light switch and operating decal, and it talks about this model 2015 self-seek AM FM radio. The seats are actually quite nice, nicely bolstered. Head restraints, of course, by this time for Ford. Ford have finally caught on. We do need a head restraint, but seats are actually nice for what is saying is a work vehicle. It also shows this. Well, they certainly date the brochures, don't they, when we start looking at cell phones, mobile phones on here, telling us. So it tells us, complete the image with a specially tailored Ford phone from Ford Cellular Systems. Choose between the mobile and portable handsets so you can keep in touch wherever you are. And then yes, it's time for the nicest picture in the brochure. Let's zoom in though. So we got this sort of bull bar type arrangement on the front here, although in the UK, I can't remember what date it was, they eventually became outlawed because obviously they spend all this money doing crash protection and sort of pedestrian crash protection on cars, and then all of a sudden you steal a huge piece of steel in front of it. So no wonder eventually they decided that wasn't a good idea, and they started making these like soft touch style, and then they completely went out of fashion altogether. We've just got very steel basic wheels though on there. Interesting, we've got sort of these red inserts on the bumpers. Of course, Ford always used to put the red on sort of like the sporty models or the LX models, rather than sort of that bright insert. Rather interestingly, we've got a bit of a glass sunroof, although it's like the cheapo pop-up style. These are very interesting lights, though, aren't they, with these Ford covers over the top of them. And then the big tonneau cover on the back itself. Ford P100 decal, and then even a Californian decal. Remember the days of Ford not really wanting to shout about the special editions? Well, it's one or the other with Ford. They either go crazy and shout about a special edition or try and hide it. I guess this is one they're possibly a little bit more proud of and can say, yes, let's tell everyone we've got the Californian, which, to be honest with you, is probably the best looking of all the P100s actually. I mean, the look, I've always quite liked the P100, to be honest with you. Although my dad rather annoyingly always used to say this spoils a good Sierra there. But I always used to quite like these, like I said. Only two-wheel drive is probably the disadvantage. It wouldn't take too much to get those stuck, of course, unless you put lots and lots of weight in the back there, because it would be certainly very light for a two-wheel drive vehicle in that sort of configuration. Anyway, let's turn to the next page. Let's look at some of the specifications. So yeah, we move that flap back again and we get the specifications. Unusual that specifications aren't on the back cover, but they're on the inside there. But let's have a look at least some of these specifications. So we start talking about the 2-litre OHC engine with a 5-speed gearbox, able to run on either leaded or unleaded petrol without adjustment. And it starts talking about there is a 1.8 turbo diesel with a 5-speed gearbox as well. Moving down, look at the brakes, which are ventilated discs, and at the rear, drums. So we're still using drums in 1991. Exhaust, long life, etc, etc. Suspension, front independent with McPherson struts, telescopic dampers and coil springs. Rear are, pretty much typical pickup type suspension setup, a multi-leaf springs, rising rate bump stops and telescopic dampers. Turning circle there, 38 feet. And then we got the standard exterior features, so an aerial, body side mouldings, bumpers, cab protection, frame light bar, which certainly looks nice, cab, glass tinted all round, rear window angled to reduce reflections, those lovely decals and door mirrors, remote control on driver's side, remote control on passenger side, extractor grille in black. We also get fuel tank caps, lights, 2 working lights with stone guard mounted on the cab protector frame, flush mounted halogen headlamps, wraparound indicators, etc, etc. And then it goes on to tell us about that front light guard and nudge bar, and also load box, which is double skinned steel and deep ribbed floor, moulded nylon lashing points, tail lamp access panel, and thick close fitting rubber load mat. Locks, a bit of information about there, mud flaps at the rear, recovery eyes front and rear, tailgate, spur wheel cradle mounted under the load box, the sunroof, the tonneau cover styled to suit cab protection frame, wheel arch liners, wheel centre cap, windscreen laminated, wipers 2-speed, etc. Standard interior features, we've got an ashtray, audio equipment, cigar lighter, a bit of information about the controls, then we've got a document storage box on the driver's side, and information about the door trim, fascia storage, floor covering, grey velour with driver side rubber insert. Then information about the glove box, grab handles, headlining, heater and ventilation, and instruments. So overall, there's not a lot of instrumentation really, but I don't think you would really expect it in this type of vehicle in the UK. But overall, I do think it's a nice special edition really, with the little bits that you've added on. And like I said, I'm not sure how many of these were made, but I would certainly say it would be a shame, wouldn't it, if they did actually use these as working vehicles, but I'm sure some were. So it also tells you about the lights, mirrors, seats, seat belts, steering column, steering wheel, sunroof, sun visor and switches. So nothing really out of the ordinary. Now we get to the colour and trim. So 3 colours available as a bold solid colour, so diamond white, cardinal red and dark blue. You can also get metallic colours rather nicely as well, so Paris blue and Regency red, so to really make it seem a little bit special. And then finally turning back to the back page, nothing too interesting on the back really. It's talking about security etching, remember that, Ford services and then extra cover, etc. And at the bottom there, just a reminder that this particular brochure is May 1991. So there we go, a super quick look at this P100 Californian, a special edition I kind of like forgot about until I was rooting through my collection, but an interesting special edition. I don't think they sold too many, because I don't remember seeing too many around, although I saw a lot of P100s around in their day, both of these with the Sierra front and then the earlier Cortina ones. They really sold lots of those, but the Californian I don't remember too well, don't know how many they sold. Are there any that still survive? Obviously we've been a working vehicle, far fewer survived unfortunately, but thank you so much for watching today. We'll say, as we always do, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It is all completely free, and I'll add a couple more boxes. One will probably be special editions that we've looked at already on Saturdays, another one will be a random box, but certainly if you have time, have a look at those. But thank you so much for watching. Please do enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you get up to, or if you're not watching at weekend, I hope your day is going well. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. We'll see you very soon, and goodbye.